So I'm not really a religious person. I would say I'm spiritual to a certain extent, but I mean, I think I don't have one thing that I'm like really passionate, this must be what it is. I think if I had to choose one thing, I'd say that like reincarnation would make sense to me. I view the world in that kind of like karma-esque way. But I don't know. I'm very open to new ideas, and my approach with a lot of things in life is I just like to get exposure to as many theories and experiences as possible, and then come up with some kind of idea or hypothesis or whatever from those things. I mean, I think much more reincarnation, multiple lives, maybe throw in some string theory in there, over, heaven and hell. Yeah. My mom came out when I was 7, and then she got together with this woman, Elizabeth. So I kind of grown up in this environment and mentality that I was just, I say I was always questioning until I came out. I never had a phase where I was like, oh, I'm definitely straight. Like, I just said, I'll figure it out when I figure it out. There was Prop 8, and obviously, as so many people say, it was such a mixed night because, it's Obama, and you want to be happy, and everyone's happy at school the next day, but then it's like this really personal thing, and it was even more personal because my mom and her partner had gotten married in early October. And so then I decided to organize a silent protest at my middle school. And so you might have heard of it. It's called Black Friday. And basically we got people to wear all black to kind of like a funeral to celebrate the death of equality. And so we did that the week of Prop 8. And then that kind of launched me, I like to say, into my activism career. And so after that, I started playing around with the idea of starting a GSA, and I, had a whole bunch of people sign this petition to bring to my principal, and I talked to teachers about it. And we took it to the principal, or I took it to the principal, and, she said, oh, well, we don't have clubs on campus. And I'm like, yeah, we do. Our principal and I decided on a compromise where we'd start like a chat group where Outlet would come and like facilitate it, so it would be, considered a support group, but we could still do whatever we want. And, I still haven't totally decided if that she did that to help us and that we wouldn't get backlash from the community, or if it was a way to, cover her bum. More inclined to the latter, but, and what's done is done. So it was difficult to actually gain momentum and gain people. It ended up just being really me and my friends because we couldn't publicize it. She said, oh, well, you'll get bullies, so you can't put posters around school. So that was a major roadblock. And I say sort of GSA because it never really took off in the way that I wanted it to, but it started the conversation. I continued to kind of have that relationship with my principal throughout the rest of the school year. At the end of the year, you have graduation, and most schools, like if you're a valedictorian, you can do a speech, and you can write one and present it to a panel of teachers, and then they pick a few people. And so I wrote one, and mine was focused on legacy and the legacy we leave, and making it so that your actions reflect what you want your legacy to be. And I talked about how, I currently have this legacy of being a really smart person and getting straight A's and all of that, but my legacy that I wanted was much more focused about gay rights and just human rights in general, and being an advocate in that way. And in that speech, I said, as a member of the queer community, and my principal didn't like that, and she went on this whole, queer is a derogatory word, you can't say that. And, of course, I understand where she's coming from. We've all heard that argument. I still found it frustrating. I argued my point, but, in the end, she's like, no, you still have to change it. So I talked about it with my mom and Evie, and then I decided to, in the copy that I turned into her, I changed it to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, but when I actually said it, I added queer at the very end, and it's like, take that.